So guys, with the most recent update, Bungie went and pretty much fixed the overall leveling system within the portal. For those who don't know, before this update, the main way that people were leveling was going to solo ops, picking the Caldera mission and running that over and over and over again until they got to around 400 power, and then after that, only pinnacle drops would actually count towards increasing your overall power level, which generally just sucked. But now in the game, you can select any of the different game modes here, be it solo, fireteam, pinnacle, or crucible ops, and as long as they have bonus drops or just drops generally, they'll be increasing your power level, with the actual bonus drops, those being these green engrams, actually also counting towards your power increases. So that means that you can go into a competitive match right now, get a bonus drop of a returned memory, as well as 4 drops total, including the 3 bonus drops and the 1 completion drop, and all of those drops will be generally increasing your overall power level, which speeds up the leveling process a whole heck of a lot. I am currently at like 470-ish power right now, and I started the week at 420, so I gained about 50 levels in only a couple of days, which is absolutely insane. So if you are wanting to get some very easy tier 5s or get to around 500 power before Renegades comes out, now is a great time to just jump in, play whatever activities you actually enjoy doing, and actually gain some power. Alongside that, Bungie also added the chest near Zavala in the tower, which is going to boost you all the way up to 300 power if you aren't already at that power level, and it's going to give you 777,777 cores. I can't remember what they're actually called. These cores, the unstable cores, these are going to be used to increasing your general power level, so it's just a free boost there to your overall leveling, which is all around great. But if you're already at 300 power, then the drops will just be powerful drops anyway, so they're just also going to be increasing your power level, which is amazing. So generally, leveling is now fixed within the game, but that does not mean that the portal itself is any types of good, because it is still pretty bad in my opinion. The first way that it is bad is that the Fireteam Ops playlist still just doesn't really make sense in my brain, due to the fact that only 5 of the activities have matchmaking, with the remaining ones needing you to go through the Fireteam Finder system to actually be able to play them with a Fireteam, which makes zero sense in my brain because all of these missions, before they were thrown into the Fireteam Ops playlist, all had matchmaking. The Strikes and Battlegrounds were all a part of the Strikes playlist, so you would just matchmake into them, and these Europa missions also had matchmaking, same with Seraphim Spire, it also had matchmaking. Why these don't have matchmaking now? I have zero clue, but I would really appreciate it if they just added matchmaking to all of these different modes. Now I do realise that there is a quick play option here at the top, but that gets you a C rank in terms of rewards, which is capped at 400 power, so it's literally pointless. Like, literally just pointless. So adding matchmaking to all of these different modes would be great, in the same way that all of these current 5 activities have matchmaking where you launch into it. It gives you like an A rank, which will be boosting your overall power level. You go in, get your loot, and just play, which is going to be saving you a whole load of time rather than you selecting an activity, then going over to customize, seeing what way you need to customize it to get the best rewards, then going and realizing that you need to create a Fireteam Finder post to go all the way over to Fireteam Finder, hit create, go on to Fireteam Ops, then try and find the actual activity that you want to play, hit confirm, then go and change all the different titles and all this stuff to then actually be able to create a listing, then wait for people to actually join the listing, then go through the process of needing them to hit the ready button so then you can invite them, and then playing the activity. It's just a very long and drawn out process that doesn't need to be in the game at all. Now, that said, going through the matchmaking systems and this Fireteam Finder process for things like dungeons and stuff within the Pinnacle Ops playlist, I'm kind of fine with, because these activities have never had matchmaking before, so going and creating a Fireteam Finder post for those actually makes sense. And it also kind of helps that there isn't like 20 of these activities, so there's not a whole giant list that you need to try and scroll through to actually find the content that you want to play. Alongside that, things like exotic missions can be very easily soloable, so that doesn't really factor into needing matchmaking at all. Also, whilst we're on the topic of Pinnacle Ops, these dungeons suck. Like, so bad. I do not understand why they just didn't add the full dungeon into the portal, because to be honest, Beneath the Necropolis is pretty much the entire dungeon, just minus the final jumping puzzle and final boss, which would have been like a 2-minute encounter anyway. And Heifer's Revenge, you basically cut everything that made that dungeon cool and just started you off at probably the most annoying jumping puzzle and the final boss. It makes no sense. And the fact is, Beneath the Necropolis is part of the Shadowkeep expansion, which should be free at this point, but it isn't, which makes no sense. And Heifer's Revenge is a part of a dungeon key, which isn't even part of an expansion, I believe, so you need to buy that separately if you want to experience the whole thing, which is just mad. Literally make all past dungeons free and add them fully into the portal. Simple as that. You don't need to go through these whole dungeon lair versions of the dungeons where it's like part of the dungeon and not the full thing. Makes zero sense, and I would really like to just see Bungie actually throwing in all of the actual fun content, be it dungeon and raids, into the portal itself. Now, that said, raids are a bit of a more tricky situation due to raids being mainly farmed for their specific loot, and Bungie has gone on to state that adding in their loot into the tiered system takes time, which I'm perfectly understandable about, but still, just at least confirm that you are planning on doing that, rather than saying it takes too long to do, so we're not going to do it anyway, because it literally has made every single raid completely redundant. There's no one going and doing a Deepstone Crypt, no one's doing a Last Wish, no one's doing a Garden of Salvation, no one's doing any of these old raids because they just don't reward you loot, which means that Destiny 2 kind of just has no endgame outside of the brand new raid, which you need to buy the most recent expansion for in order to even play. So even if you're a free-to-play player right now, which I'm surprised there even are free-to-play players currently in the game, you can't really do any endgame content because it's not really going to be rewarding you at all. You can do a Vault of Glass, but you're not going to be gaining any power towards it. You can do a Kingsfall raid, not going to be gaining any power towards it. You can do a Crow's End, but you're not going to be gaining any power. All of these fun activities just aren't going to be rewarding you with any kind of actual benefit at all because they aren't within the portal. Also, one thing that I saw that would be a really nice addition to the portal would be story missions. Honestly, just the fact that we don't have Red War, Curse of Osiris, Warmind, or Forsaken in the game anymore sucks. So just take the most fun missions from those campaigns and throw them into the portal in their own section of the portal called like Story Ops or Campaign or something like that. So then you can go into these really fun story missions, be it the final mission of Curse of Osiris being the only real memorable one, or the one of the first missions within Forsaken, the final mission of the Red War. Throw those into the portal so that then people can go back and experience these older pieces of content. Now, whilst these experiences should be fully playable within the game, they're not, so just work with the situation that we're in currently and just add at least the most memorable pieces of those campaigns back into the game inside of the portal here. I could go on for way longer if I wanted to, going over the issues with the portal, but I feel like I've ranted for long enough at this point. With leveling being fixed, it's great if you want to be grinding the same old activities, but the most fun activities still aren't playable in the game, and if they are, they're kind of just Frankenstein versions of what they were before, which really sucks. And there's still a whole load of content that Bungie still needs to add to the portal in order to really incentivize people to play a much wider variety of content. And also, this game really needs new content because the only new pieces of content that we have currently are these reclaim missions, which for some reason I don't know why there's 3 options here, considering that you go to all 3 of these areas anyway within each of these missions. Either way, I'm just going to end the video now because I'll just keep on ranting. But if you'd like to do some leveling before Renegades, now is a great time to jump in and go and do that. But just keep in mind that the portal is still the portal. If you've hated it before, you're probably still going to hate it now. Just because the leveling system is good doesn't mean that the portal itself is any better, really. With that all said, that's it for my thoughts on the updates to the leveling system and the portal generally, and changes that I hope the portal receives in the near future with Renegades. Fingers crossed there. That's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you have enjoyed. If you did, if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, I would very much appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one.